All right, welcome back everybody. Good to have you back here in the Cisco TV studio. One of the most exciting things for us here in the studio is always welcoming new organizations underneath the Cisco banner. We've got so many forward-thinking organizations around the globe that contribute so much to the success of Cisco. Now last year, one of our most exciting acquisitions was AppDynamics. They joined the Cisco family in March of last year, of 2017, and today, AppD is helping enterprises succeed with real-time performance monitoring at every level. This is everything from coding to the customer experience. So with AppD, we're seeing this great connection of both app performance and all the other capabilities to give organizations a much smarter approach to their performance management. It's great to see. Coming up in just a few minutes, in fact, at 12:20 this afternoon, we'll be moving into the first innovation showcase here at the show, the first of a lot of great showcases this week, and you'll find those down in the CMAX Theater. For those of you here at the show, it's at the very end of the World of Solutions. If you enter the WAS, just go to the far wall, you'll see the big white box for the innovation showcases in the CMAX Theater. But stop by as many of those as you can this week. This is where you'll hear the latest and the greatest on so much great technology and Cisco partners and what's coming next from all of us in IT, data center, networking, and app development. So the first one, like I said, it will start at 20 minutes past 12, and it's going to be about unlocking the power of data. That's so much of what AppD is all about. So you're going to hear from some great industry leaders in the data center side and the AppDynamics arena, and they'll be able to talk to you about the power that we gain with application insight into the data center. How do you get that clear, accurate view of your communications and your dependencies? They're going to talk about Cisco Tetration, how that unlocks the power of data in the multi-cloud world today. So again, 12:20, put it in your calendar. Right now though, we're going to take a quick introduction look to AppDynamics. We're going to find out more about this great new company under the Cisco umbrella. Enjoy.
So Tej, you are Vice President of Technology Strategy within AppDynamics, which is of course now part of Cisco, and we're just coming up on a year from this acquisition. And I remember the big story back then, pardon me because I just love this story, is the fact that I think they were within 24 hours of IPO. The team was on their way to New York to go public, and suddenly it was announced Cisco was going to buy for this huge, like 3.7 billion?
Yeah, 3.7 billion.
So then the question becomes, there must be a really good reason as to why Cisco would pay so much money. We're not foreign to acquisitions, of course, but you were part of some of that decision making behind the scenes to go, this is where we need to go, it's AppDynamics. Why would that be?
Absolutely. See, the thing that is happening right now in the industry is digital transformation, right? So our customers are changing, right? Cisco itself is changing, right? And application has become the king. If you see in the past 3 to 5 years, everything revolves around the application. If you see all the Cisco product lines, we have great security products, great networking products, great data center products, but they are all under the infrastructure, right? So now, with this acquisition, we get a visibility into the application. And no matter where your application runs, now you have the visibility. And in this specific acquisition, in AppDynamics, we have a concept called business transaction.
Business transaction.
Business transaction, right?
Okay.
So, for example, login is a very basic business transaction.
But an important one.
But an important one, because without that you cannot check out. Right?
Yep.
But if you think a little bit deeper there is a lot of business value packed in this business transaction. And if you can unlock this business transaction into other products, whether they're security products, networking products, or data center products, then you get a true intuitive infrastructure.
Okay.
Right? And that's the premise behind this acquisition, that this is a platform.
Yeah.
This is not a tuck-in acquisition. This is where we are going to invest billions and make billions.
And just to be fair, I want to mention that we're doing this recording here before the show floor opens, so there's still a lot of construction going on. But I wanted to make sure we got to you before your session, which is coming up on Wednesday. So you talk about, this really seems to play into Cisco's intent strategy for the data center and a unique view of the data more from this from the business side.
Yeah.
So the benefits we get from that seem obvious, but you guys have been doing this uniquely for quite some time. How is it that AppDynamics has this figured out? Or what is it you're doing more uniquely than anyone else to be able to pull this off?
See, we have a very well-defined model, right? The application model, which actually abstracts the underlying infrastructure.
Okay.
So coming back to the concept of business transaction, at the end of the day, that login and checkout is what's important to your business. It doesn't matter underneath you're running VMs or containers. Tomorrow you might be running serverless, right? Yeah. But what this does, it abstracts out the business intent.
Okay.
And then you have the infrastructure intent, right? But traditionally speaking, all infrastructure was designed statically, right? Yeah. You design a network just because you want to build a network that communicates with one another, or let the applications communicate with one another.
Let me interrupt you there, because I want to understand the focus. I'm used to being background in networking and understanding a very infrastructure focus, but if obviously we care about the business, the network only exists for the applications that are driving the business, so that all makes sense. You guys are coming up with a unique set of data. What would be, if I didn't have what AppDynamics is doing, what would I be doing today that's maybe painful, I would assume, to try and approximate what you're able to offer in a simpler manner?
See, you wouldn't be able to unlock the business value.
I just wouldn't have it.
Yeah, you just wouldn't have it.
And so it's guesswork.
And yeah, it's guesswork, and then you would be just running around in circles to solve problems, right? Yeah. Because your network now doesn't understand the business. And this is the first time, actually in my session on Wednesday, we're going to show a demo. We're going to show a demo of how this business intent is unlocked from within the application into the network for the first time.
That's going to be interesting. So that's going to be Wednesday, and that'll be in your schedules as well.
1:15 p.m.
1:15 p.m. local time. If you're here, don't want to miss that. But of course, we'll make these replays available. So talk about the integrations, because this is not just about Cisco taking an AppDynamics and saying this fulfills something in our portfolio. That is one thing, and it's very good. But this is also about how well you guys interact with other areas within Cisco. How much of that can you tell me about what's happening?
Yeah, see, at the end of the day, this is a journey. We are on a journey towards building a system of intelligence, right? And to make that happen, to materialize that, we have to integrate with some of our best products, let's say Cisco ACI, Cisco Tetration, Cisco DNA. And we are also exploring Cisco's security products, because those are some of the unique use cases we can bring together. And that's a new market, altogether new market, right? Because application security is a key aspect of your future intelligence system, right? Because if you see what's happening, what happened to Equifax with Apache Struts, most of the attacks are happening through the application. But coming back to the network and to the data center, unlocking that business value through the application, correlating those data sets, that's the intent. And at the end of the day, we have one of the best orchestrators. So once we start learning about what's happening in the infrastructure, we can actually take actions through policies and through automation.
So really this unique information gathering you guys are doing becomes the tip of the iceberg in terms of all the different things we can do. Security makes sense because visibility is kind of the first key, having some kind of a general awareness. But you're not talking about general awareness, you're talking about very specific from end to end, not based on the infrastructure, but really based on the things a business cares about most. Is that a
Absolutely, and we are completing the cycle. So you monitor, you analyze, and you act, right? Yeah. So that even human bodies work similarly. That's a pattern of an intelligent system, right?
But then we measure that and feed it back in and start it all over again,
Exactly, and we have one of the best orchestrators to act. We now have the analytics platform through AppDynamics, one of the best real-time analytics platform that you can have. And then we have the monitoring agents. We have the network monitoring agents, we have the application monitoring agents, and then we have the business transaction monitoring agents across all different product lines.
As a final question, go ahead, you were saying?
So monitor, analyze, act, that's it.
No, I cut you off a little, I got excited. Because this is software, which what I love about Cisco getting more into software is this makes it easy for customers to try this, and you're not interrupting production networks, so this is not something you necessarily have to test on a lab network, because it's not going to stop anything from happening. You just have a certain new surface level of data that becomes available, so it's easy to try before you buy, potentially?
Yeah, try before we buy. Yeah, that was the principle when this company was formed. You should be able to try with ease, just deploy the agents and see the magic happen.
All right, Tej, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. We're going to learn all about AppDynamics. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Rob. Really appreciate it. Great to get a good overview on what's going on with AppD. Again, phenomenal new company underneath the Cisco banner. And you can tell things continue to grow and to build. If you look back behind me, you can see we've got the hub going back here over my shoulder. Everybody is excited. Everybody is working together here this week. And it's that level of communication and connection and new capabilities that really drive Cisco and everything that we're doing. So we're glad to have you with us. Both those folks who are around the outside of the studio watching us live, and those of you who are tuning in on a variety of media networks as well. So again, very happy to have you here with us. A couple of the things that I want to talk to you about now are what's coming up a little bit later in the day, and one of the most important things this afternoon at 5:30 Barcelona time, that's Greenwich Mean Time +1. We are going to have a live Facebook session that is going to happen right here. It's your opportunity to write in on Facebook Live, and you're going to be able to talk to Sachin Gupta. We're going to be talking specifically about enterprise networking during that 5:30 segment, but please come be a part of it. Again, tune in at 5:30. You'll be able to figure it out right off the bat, but we're going to read your comments live, and Sachin is going to respond to those in real time, so we would love to have you guys back here for that. Again, 5:30 this afternoon. Right now, though, we're going to continue talking about AppDynamics. This is the very first Cisco Live Europe that AppDynamics has taken part in. A lot of the delegates that are here at the show, they're not really familiar with AppD and its proposition. So, if you head to the show, talk to them over the coming months, over the coming years, Cisco and AppD are really going to be enhancing the ability for clients to monitor, to measure, to optimize end-to-end technology and business performance. This is all about engagement on a personal level, on an emotional level. It's about acknowledging the challenges and the frustrations that we all face in our everyday jobs. So AppD is out there showing people how their technologies can save time, save money, help people focus on more strategic work, raise their profile within their organizations, get ahead in their careers. So many great capabilities and great values here. Throughout the week, you'll see Rob Boyd interviewing the AppDynamics people, Lauren Malhoit as well, on the product side, the engineering strategy side. They'll be talking about why AppDynamics was such a vital acquisition for Cisco and how that integration between our two companies are really setting up to benefit our clients. Most importantly, why the attendees at the show, those of you tuning in, should be so excited about this better together vision of AppD and Cisco working in tandem with one another. If you see the AppD team out there on the WAS show floor, go up, introduce yourself, make a new friend, learn how AppD capabilities are going to be so beneficial for you and for your organization on a daily basis. We're actually going to roll another VT right now at this point from AppDynamics. Let's take a look together, shall we?
All right, I am here with Faraz Rashid. We're going to talk AppDynamics. Faraz, I'm so excited to talk to you. AppDynamics is kind of a more recent acquisition, right? And it's a little bit of a departure from the traditional Cisco way of life. What kind of customers are you guys actually going after?
So we deal with the world's largest enterprises, and we deal with enterprises that are inherently complex. Okay. So these enterprises have got massive challenges in terms of building out new software, adapting to the new digital world, and in that meantime, they discover that they have whole heaps of challenges in delivering digital performance as well. We thrive on complexity, so the most complex organizations are the ones that really work for us.
That's perfect. So you mentioned challenges. What are the challenges that these specific customers are facing?
So the challenges that they've got is that the world has changed in terms of what users' expectations are, and users now log into Google, it takes them 250 milliseconds to commit a search, and that's what they expect from every company that, right, that they work with. And the challenges that companies have got that we work with is that they weren't built to go and do that. So they need to deliver new functionality, they need to deliver performance at scale, and yet they've got huge problems with all of this complexity in the background. I actually came from a client, so my previous job prior to this was working for Credit Suisse, where I led their IT operations. And it was a very personal pain for me because I was woken up very regularly at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, and not a small operation.
Yeah, it's not. And you were typically dealing with traders or high net worth individuals, so the pressure was on. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to fix that problem. I brought in AppDynamics and actually decided that I wanted to give up my day job and work for AppDynamics for a living to help other companies do the same thing.
I mean, that's fantastic referral, right? You actually worked with the stuff, it helped you, and now you want to kind of make it all happen, help other people. What are you guys actually doing to help these challenges, to help the customers with these challenges?
So we have a very, very easy to deploy approach for application performance monitoring. So what we allow people to do is we allow them to install our software without changing any code, and we automatically map out their environment. We discover all of the transactions running through their system. We tell them when things aren't working as normal. We tell them the root cause of when that's happening, and we also tell them what the impact is to the customer. And we do all of this in a very, very simple way. So actually you can download our software for free today. get it up and running within your environment, often within a couple of hours, and you don't need to interact with a human to do that.
The beauty of software, and not to mention, I mean, that's the way things are going, right? Detection of anomalous behavior, that's what we really need, not for admins to have to search for problems within their networks, right, within their applications.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So who would you like to come visit the booth then? We're here at Cisco Live Europe, of course. Who do you guys want to see today, or this week?
Sure, so we'd love to meet with people who want to understand what their application performance is today, what their technology performance is, what their business performance is, people who want to find out a bit more about our software. We like meeting with people that care about how their applications perform and what functionality they have. And it'd be great to talk to them around their ideas around how that works. So yeah, come along to our stand and come and find out how we work.
That's fantastic. You guys heard it here. You know, this is the first of many interviews we're going to have with AppDynamics. So come visit the booth over in Waz in the campus area, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren. Great interview there. We're going to stay with AppDynamics for a couple of minutes. We are headed toward that first innovation showcase, Unlocking the Power of Data. That is going to start in just about a little less actually than 15 minutes from now at 20 past 12. If you have not yet made your way down to the CMAX Theater at the far end of the World of Solutions, go get there now. Make sure that you get a seat for that first great innovation showcase. We'll be monitoring that throughout and then coming back and having some good commentary on that showcase. And again, that's at 12:20. Right now though, let's stay with AppD a little bit when we talk about what is at the heart and the foundation of who AppDynamics is. Innovation, customer success. They've always been in the DNA of AppD. It's really a part of the company. It's part of what it was founded on, part of the reason that Cisco initially took notice and said, AppD has got to be a part of what we are doing, a part of our team here at Cisco. So we joined really to help accelerate the natural AppD vision, and that's because it was so clear that the AppDynamics platform really is the future of business and of application performance monitoring for the enterprise. We are in such a state of transition today within the enterprise, the network, the data center, that in October we added Perspica into that mix. Perspica is known for stream-based processing. They've got a really unique ability to apply machine learning to data as it comes in, instead of waiting until that data has already been crunched and packaged and then neatly stored away. So you're going to be hearing a great deal about machine learning throughout the week, about AI. We've already been talking about it. You heard about it in the keynote. Perspica is a big part of that story. They've got a lot of expertise in domain-specific machine learning at scale, which means that they can then ingest and they can process these enormous volumes of data, and along with AppDynamics' core data model, it makes a really powerful combo for business transaction. It's a collective that helps to open up a gigantic world of possibilities for the scale and speed of the product. All right, so with that, we've got one more video that we're going to go ahead and roll to. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now.
All right, guys, so we have a chance to see exactly what AppDynamics looks like. John, I appreciate you taking the time. What I'm curious about is it feels like we gather so much data, or you guys gather so much data, that it becomes very incumbent upon you to have an interface that says, let's make it simple to consume, because it could get overwhelming, and the whole idea is to be able to make decisions based on what you guys are revealing that we've not been able to see before. Is that a fair assessment?
Definitely a fair assessment. I mean, when you're looking at modern applications today, they're extremely complex, they're distributed, they may be split across multiple platforms, across multi-cloud environments. So the first thing that any support team wants to do, so it could be a DevOps support team, traditional operations team, developers, you want to have a view on your applications, you want to see exactly what they look like. Now, that's one of the first challenges which AppDynamics solves. So if we have a look over the screen over here, then what we can see is that AppDynamics has automatically created a real-time representation of the application, of a very complex application's architecture. And this is all done instantly. So what you do, you effectively deploy intelligent agents onto each one of these nodes over here, and then the application is automatically mapped out. So on the screen over here, we can see various functions of the application. We can also see there's various elements. So we can see the various back-end databases. We can see calls being made to different elements. We can see this is a Java and also a Node.js application. Even more interesting, obviously I talked about a multi-cloud element. This application is actually dispersed across 2 different environments. Okay. So if I would click on this AD Financial Cloud element over here, then this takes me over to actually AWS. So what we're seeing now is how certain functions of this application reside in AWS, and we've completely mapped out all the various elements or services which we're using in this environment. So over here we've got Amazon S3 storage. We're also using DynamoDB on the back end if we go down to the bottom of the map over here. And this is automatically all mapped out. Now I'm just going to go back to the starting screen here, because it's great to have this kind of architecture view. And generally, do you know how many organizations would typically get to understand their architecture?
Well, I don't think any normally get to understand the architecture at this level, because I feel like this is something that we're always kind of flying blind, and we've come to accept that we just have to fly blind. But even if we did figure it out once, it's not something that is ever static, correct?
Exactly. And many organizations, when we go in to talk to an enterprise, we generally find that they're trying to keep track of these, like this kind of architecture using Visio diagrams. And that was great maybe back in, I don't know, 2006, but in today's world, when you've got dynamic applications, that's extremely hard to do. So this is, again, another challenge which we solve here. Now, AppDynamics also does something very interesting here as well, because on installation, on deployment, AppDynamics automatically baselines every single metric. Now, we were built for production monitoring. So when you install us, or install AppDynamics, we then start to baseline every single metric so as to understand performance. And what we do here is we create dynamic baselines. So you're not setting static thresholds. That used to be like the monitoring tools of old, where you set static thresholds, your CPU hits 85% and you're going to get an alert. The reality is really, who cares unless it's impacting your users and your business? And this is where AppDynamics becomes very, very intelligent. So we're baselining different elements here, and on the screen we can see load metrics, response time metrics, error metrics for the last 2 hours. Now, that's great, but look, you're a support team. You are working maybe in a DevOps team, you're looking at the support of this application. And so what you really want to understand is, how is this application healthy from a perspective of a user, and also from a business perspective as well. And this is where something what AppDynamics comes into action. You see, right from the start, AppDynamics had a patented way of allowing teams to focus really on what matters.
But you said a what kind of sensitive way?
To focus on really what matters. It's a patented way. Patented.
Patented. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's the English versus the American English. No. To make sure I understood what it was.
Yeah. So effectively, what AppDynamics does on installation is that he'll have a look for those. It will monitor every single user interaction, and he's looking for those interactions which are key to user experience and also business outcomes. And then it'll automatically start to monitor them. So think about a traditional e-commerce application, things like login, add to basket, checkout, those sorts of business transactions. And we call this, I just mentioned it, our atomic unit of measurement, which is a business transaction. So straight away, you can see the application architecture, but you can also see how that application is performing from a business and also user experience perspective. So for this application up on the screen, we can see that we've identified or discovered a number of key business transactions like get quote, login. We can see things like credit check, all these different elements. Yeah. And this is automatically helping then to focus our support teams really on what matters. When there's an emerging problem in production, they can focus on this emerging problem.
So let me ask you, what is the difference between what is automatically available out of the box when you out of the download, when you start this, what's automatic versus what do I need to predefine to say this is important to me? Does it automatically, you mentioned a lot of automatic measurement.
I like the word automatic, because when you're looking at any kind of enterprise application performance monitoring tool or solution, it's got to be easy to use. Especially when you're doing production monitoring, things have to be automatic, they have to be instant. Because it's monitoring tools of old, where you had to manually instrument an application to get the information which you're seeing up on the screen here. Now, so this is helping our teams to focus, but I want to draw you now to another dashboard. So I'm going to switch to another dashboard here, which is now an executive dashboard. So what we see now is that exact same application, but we're representing it in a more high-level way. We've taken away and stripped away all the various complexity. We can see the user journey which is happening. We can see at the moment this is green. We can also see how complex this application is. It's using a variety of different microservices. So down on the bottom of the screen here, we can see DC, and we can still see our connection into AWS. Mm-hmm. So it means that no matter who you are in a company, you can see the health of this application at a glance, and that's extremely kind of powerful and extremely valuable to all of our kind of enterprise customers. Now, We also do other dashboards as well. That's a pretty kind of simplified dashboard. I'm going to draw your attention to another one here. This is even simpler.
Right.
So basically what we're seeing on the screen is just the various user journeys for a fictitious application, which is an e-commerce application. So we can see the various steps going through this application. So this is the various steps on the user journey. Now, each one of these circles represents a business transaction, which, what did I say before?
Atomic transaction?
Automatic.
I got it wrong. Automatic.
Automatic. So we've done an automatic discovery here. So it's automatic and instantaneous discovery. Now, what's the one thing when you see a red circle, what do you want to do?
Why is there so much testing? Well, I think I want to click on it. Because
you want to click on it, you want to find what the problem is, of course. So let's kind of click into that and find out what's going on. So if we click onto that red circle, this takes us into another architecture view now. So now we're specifically looking at the fetch catalog business transactions. So we stripped away all this complexity, all these architecture elements which are not required for the support teams to focus on.
But I clicked on something red and you clicked into it and now it's all green, so how do I know where's my issue?
Because over in the corner here we've got a transaction scorecard, and what I said before was about we baseline every single transaction, every single metric, and we can see here we've got a number of very slow business transactions. So let's click on this and find out what's going on. So what we're going to do, we're going to get to the root cause in 3 clicks. So let's click on very slow.
One. Was that the first click, or did we count the other one as the first click?
That's the first click. We'll go for that one for the first click. It could be 4 clicks. So, right, so now we're looking at our transaction snapshot viewer. So what AppDynamics does, when there's an emerging problem, it starts to take very detailed information, a snapshot, about what was happening in regards to that application and that user's experience at that particular moment in time. So we can see we've got a number of very slow transactions. 19 seconds over here, the second one down, that's extremely slow. Potentially you've already lost that customer. They've gone to a competitor, they're using another solution. So let's click onto that, the second click, and find out what's going on. So this takes us now into our transaction snapshot viewer, and now we're looking at one particular user experience. This is for one particular user. We can see their execution time taking too long. We can see the timestamp. Down here in the potential issues, what AppDynamics automatically does, and again I use that word automatic, I do like it, is it bubbles up to the top through its heuristics what the potential root causes are for the problem. But I want to get a bit more definitive than that. So what we're going to do, we're going to drill down. Okay, we're going to drill down into that and have a look what the root cause is. So as I kind of drill into this, it takes us into our snapshot viewer, and this then means that no matter whether you're a developer, whether you understand the code, AppDynamics automatically shows you every element of code called, every line of code run, every procedure, any request run. So here at the bottom we can see we've got a Spring Bean transaction, and I can drill into this and see the exact SQL call which is being committed here, which is on the screen. So, and the reason AppDynamics lets us do this is because we're a unified monitoring solution. So effectively, what we're doing is that we're monitoring all the way from the end user's kind of experience, the way they're using the application, through to the application code, down to the back end, including the network. And that's the power of AppDynamics.
John, it's hard to get you to talk, but I think we succeeded. Thank you so much. Automatic, I like that. But atomic, I think it still works because you get down to the root of exactly where the issue is coming from.
Instant
Back to you.
automatic.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.